when you're building your own online business, it is absolutely impossible for you to remain who you were when you got started to who you are now. And you definitely shouldn't remain the same, because entrepreneurship doesn't matter what services are, if it's product service, if it's online courses, if your own business. It's all entrepreneurship, and it should bring internal growth as well as external growth. And in my experience, it's been the most transformational journey of my career, and to be honest, of my life, because it has changed my whole life, because time flexibility and financial security never came hand in hand before I made the move online. I always had financial security, but I had zero time to enjoy it. And one thing for sure, you certainly learn what you're made of. You really do. It's a journey of self-discovery when you realize your strengths, your determination, your desire to change and to help other people change and change for the better, of course. It's definitely a journey of self-discovery, and the type of person you are, and all the things that you vibe with and the things that you absolutely don't. Purpose and what you value become even stronger than you previously knew before. That's one thing I would definitely suggest tapping into. Tapping into what is your purpose and what are your values. Because if you're building an online business and your only purpose is to make money, then that only takes you so far until it doesn't, So instead, get absolutely crystal clear on the things that you want to achieve, okay? That was something that really powered me on, because we all know that motivation doesn't last. It goes in dips. Having a purpose, us humans, we need to feel that we have a purpose and we have a deep sense of value for what we're doing, and that will outrun, however you want to say it, any motivation. If you've got a purpose and you have a sense of value, you'll always show up and you'll always love what you do. Okay, and when you love what you do, you absolutely just bring that energy just naturally. Yeah, so something that brings a deep sense of value and a sense of your life being worth living. Who are the people that you want to help and work with the most, and why do you want to help this particular type of person? What do you want them to achieve with your help? And when you have a purpose-driven business, you can assure that you're working with the right people. There's nothing worse when you're working with the wrong people, because it drains your energy. You won't be able to serve at your best if you're working with the wrong people. It absolutely does. When you're chasing the money, what we're doing is, it's not just about the money, but you're trying to get to the finish line without enjoying the journey, without enjoying the scenery. And the journey is your growth. It's tapping into your skills and what are you learning. It can only kill your motivation and your hunger for wanting to grow an online business. A purpose-driven business. So if you're not sure what is your purpose, who do you want to help, I definitely challenge you to dig into those two questions, and you start to understand the importance of your boundaries also. So you start to understand the importance of the boundaries and who gets access to you and who doesn't. So your time and your energy are your most valuable assets. You come to learn that working with the right people is more valuable than just working with someone just because they're willing to pay. Honestly, from past experience, working with people just because they want to pay it is not the way to go forward. I've had clients pay $3,000 to work with me, and pay it in one installment, and then I've shown up for their business more than they've shown up for their own business, and it can really wipe your energy. So definitely having those boundaries of who gets access to you, and that's why you can't just be in it for the money, because I could have lots more clients, but there wouldn't be clients that I want to work with. So yeah, that is a really important boundary. It comes hand in hand with what you're willing to accept and what you aren't. And every day is a work in the motion to living a purposeful life and growing a business that's, that is in core alignment with your own vision and your own terms. Okay, there are countless lessons and takeaways that you'll experience on the daily. You're going to change over the periods of time, and the person that you are when you're making your first, say, $50 online, like I was just saying, with experience, I've learned to adapt and dig deeper into the qualifying stage. But yeah, it goes throughout your whole business. The person that you are when you make your first $50 online is very different to the person that you become when you're making your first $1,000, $10,000 and plus online, Yeah, so although the fun part is that it does get simpler with time, okay? The more that you grow, the more that you're invested into your growth and your leveling up, it just gets simpler over time. So here's some of my key lessons from ditching the hustle and the mainstream tactics that led me from burnout in my first 6 months. I hit burnout, and then to building a purposeful business by design. Okay, so number one is you want to stay focused on the things that are working. So stay focused on the things that are working, that are moving the needle forward, and eliminate the things that are not. And I know that sounds easy, and again, it just comes down to building a business comes down to testing. Testing things out and allowing yourself to be a student and learn, and allowing yourself to be honest with yourself so you can move fast, knowing away from the things that aren't working, knowing that they aren't working, if that makes sense. The first, good 6 months of my journey, I was doing so much of the hustle tactics and trends. And not only was I confused, but I was completely burnt out. And it's really easy to go down a rabbit hole of shiny objects and, every new trick, hack, magic pill offered to you online. But unfortunately, what it does is it steers you off course, and it leaves you utterly confused. Plus, your audience will equally be confused with what you're actually doing online. And I'm sure you've all heard this before, but a confused audience never buys, right? And the reason that is because if you're all over the place, you're jumping from shiny object to shiny object. Now, there's a difference between jumping from shiny object to shiny object and hack and trend to investing strategically. So when you're jumping from shiny object to shiny object, you'll be chasing money claims. When you're investing strategically, what you're doing is you're like, right, what's working in my business? What do I want to keep doing in my business that's working? What's really not working for me? And what am I really not enjoying? What doesn't align with me, or what doesn't align with the time that I've got? Maybe you're building a business alongside a full-time job. So that's the difference between shiny object buying and investing strategically. Confused audience never buys, but what this does is it leads me on to a confused mind goes around in circles. And what I mean by a confused mind goes around in circles is that's internal. So a confused audience is external, a confused mind is internal. So for example, you could be confusing your audience and confusing your core messaging. You could be talking about how fabulous Done For You systems are and how, your course closes all the sales for you. And then in the next breath, you could start talking about how you don't need funnels to make money online. So can you see where there's a congruency? There's no congruency in your message. Two totally different messages that you're putting out to your audience, and this is where people get confused with the marketing message and the content that they're putting out. You can bang content out all day long, but if your message isn't aligned with what you're doing and there's no congruency, then you're going to be confusing yourself as well as your audience. People can understand what you actually do and how your service solves their specific problem, right? So find a specific proven process that works for you, implement it, and document your journey with your audience. What do I mean by documenting your journey? What are you doing? What are you learning? What light bulb moments have you had? Everything around what you do. Then your audience will start to know you, and you'll be known by your audience for what you actually do. Okay, so that they can identify that you are the person with the solution that can help them with their specific problem. And that is what your content is for. So, for example, I'm known for dialing in your core message and applying that into your content. I'm known for building a lean audience, conversations and relationship building, offer creation and personal branding. Okay, and all these has made it possible to build my business without the drag of the things that I absolutely hated. So the things that I hated and was so demotivating for me, I've been able to eliminate is like cold DMs, mass adding friends, high pressured sales tactics, sales calls, group coaching, and trying to go viral. So what I'm known for, but I told you that I was known for, I'm also known that I don't do cold DMs, I don't mad add people, I don't use high pressured sales tactics, I don't jump on sales calls, I don't go into groups, people pinching, and I don't create content to try and go viral. My content is very specific for a certain type of person who I can help. What does your audience know you for? You're not just, what can I say about a vague message is I help people make money online. That's really vague because there's lots of different ways that you can make money online, and there's lots of different strategies. So it's tapping into, what are your strategies? What will your clients be doing if they was to invest with you or work with you or join the program that you're promoting? What will they not be doing? If someone hates mass adding people or they hate doing cold DMs, and then they invest with you, and then they realize, I've got to mass add people and do cold DMs, they're not going to be very happy. So that's what I've learned. Be specific in your messaging so that people can identify what you do, who you are, how you help them, and they can then identify that you can help them. Okay, so that prevents you having to chase people in the DMs, because it means that people come to you because they know that you've got a solution that they want. And everything that I could help people with online came down to the process I was following, giving huge clarity to my audience on what it is that I do and how I can help them. So then I just doubled down on what I was doing, and I stayed focused on those few things to achieve that first six-figure year. And building an aligned audience and dialing in my core message throughout my content are the two main keys to unlocking a sustainable business without being in hustle mode. Talking about hustle mode, that leads me on to the art of keeping it simple. So let me know in the comments who here is working a full-time job alongside building your business, and what is it you do for a job? Like, what do you work as? So drop that in the comments. So, running a successful business online, I knew I wanted the same principle and the same simplicity for my online business as I did for in my offline business. I didn't want to work 11 hours a day, 6 days a week, which I did when I was running the clinic. I didn't want lots of moving parts, because when you've got lots of moving parts in your business, it doesn't allow you to have the time for creativity, which is a huge part in owning your own online business. There's nothing more grounding and enjoyable than having to, than sitting down and putting that creativity in your own business. And then when your memories come back and you can see what you created last year and what you created this year and just how much you've developed and how much you've grown, you need that creativity in your business so that you stand out through the crowd as well, because it's noisy out there, So, simplicity not only sells, but I wanted to gain more time back with the same level of income that I had from the clinic, because I had a high level of income. That was not a problem, but I didn't have bloody time. I had no time at all. And when I look back now, I actually don't know how I was a solo mum to twins and ran a clinic and literally just chased my ass through life. I spent 12 years living like that, and I look back now and I think, I don't think I could do that now. I wanted to have that time freedom, but I also wanted to have the same level of income that I had from the clinic, or close. And that's not a greedy thing, but when you've got a high level of income, you also have a high level of outgoings as well. So I didn't really want my income to drop, although I didn't mind as long as I had the time freedom. Because I love just pottering around my garden and going hiking into the gym, so I don't really have to have a luxury lifestyle. So having a lean process, it allows you to swap the time that you would spend adding people, cold DMing, sales calls, etc., for a process that moves the needle forward, and that driving more traffic and attracting the right people into your world, and opening up new relationships for those sales opportunities. So every layer of complexity that you inject, it strips you of time. So what I mean is, the more moving parts that you've got to your business, the more it's going to strip you of time. Every layer of complexity that you inject, every moving part, the more moving parts that you've got, it strips you of your time freedom. So you really want to strip it back and have a really lean process, and a lean process that you enjoy. And we would talk about strategies. There's loads of strategies out there, and they all work. They all do work. The difference between them, in my opinion, is the time and energy. So, if, for example, you don't have a lot of time to spend on your business because you've got a full-time job, obviously you're going to want to tap into strategies that work best for you and around your priorities, because your job is your priority, because that's bringing you in money. Like, you go to work, you've got an income. Mold your strategies and pick your strategies that what fits you the best. I'm not sure about you, but when thinking of having my own business online, the time and flexibility to do so that I could do more things, they're the two things that I've really been chasing. So having the time freedom and the time flexibility, and just reserving my energy. That is what my main focus was for building an online business, and going from an offline business. They were the most important things to me. Gaining more and doing less. A lot of people concentrate on quantity over quality. And for me, quality always wins. It always strips things back to simple terms. We can't just jump into an online business and just quit as jobs. You have to work at those things, and that's why, scaling down and making your process simple, the more that you can do that, the more that you can move forward in your business quicker, so that then you can drop and go part-time at your job, because you've got that steady income coming in from your online business. And then the more that you do, the more that you concentrate on those things that are working for you, then you're going to scale that, and then you can leave your job if you want to. That's what it's all about. If anyone's ever told you to quit your job and work online, don't do that, because it'll just add so much more stress to your plate to earn the money. So then you will end up chasing the money, and it'll just stress you out. So definitely don't do that. But yeah, speaking of more, I believe in quality over quantity, and that brings me on to the virality and engagement. It means nothing. A lot of people worry about how many views and likes and comments that they're getting on the content. And I've been guilty of feeling that way, because when I came in, that's what I was taught, and when you first start, you just believe what you're taught, because they're the experts, but they're an expert in how they want to run their business, So like I was saying, people worry and get obsessed of the likes and the comments that they're getting on the content. And I was guilty of that. And it gives you an ego boost when you wake up to thousands of views on a short form video and 80 comments on one of your written posts. But virality and engagement have got nada to do with your sales and conversion process. For example, I know a couple of people, online people, who have grown their accounts extremely quickly with trendy videos, and they get thousands of views, eyeballs on them, yet they don't know how to monetize all those eyeballs. And that's mainly because it's not an aligned audience. It's not an audience full of their ideal clients, and the videos are just entertainment purpose, and they do not speak. They don't solve a specific problem. So that goes back again to your core messaging, content. You can put out content and attract loads of likes and views and followers, but if there's no core message in that content, then that's all there will ever be, because they've probably, they could have just followed you because you did a funny dance, or I don't know, you promised them £1 million. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing in that that's aligned. When your content becomes highly leveraged, specific and targeted, your views will become lower. Mine, for example, my videos, they get about around 200 to 400 views. So if you're speaking the right message to the right people, 200 to 400 views is a lot of the right people, the right eyeballs seeing your stuff, right? Like I was saying, those 200 to 400 views are more likely leads of high quality. And generally people that can help with my service, because my message is specific and it aligns with those people. And then this leads me on to like, not everyone is your person, and it's okay. The beauty about building a personal brand and a business is that it pre-sells on who you are. And it's a natural byproduct of the big percent of people that you attract. They're going to share similar values and similar traits as you. Okay, that's what makes them a dream client to work with, because they're just like you in business terms. So they're the previous version of you, and they want to get to where you are. So you've got the solution for them to get from here to B, how you got from A to B. However, it doesn't eliminate those that are not the right fit altogether. Okay, you're still going to get a very small percentage of your audience that are looking for different things, different solutions in their business. Not everyone is willing to commit to a significant amount of time to see long-term results, especially if, like I say, their mindset is, I just want to make money. They don't want to commit a certain amount of time for long-term gratification. They want to see something now. But that's not how it works. We all know that. You're building a business long term. When you build a business long term, you get long-term lasting results that compound and compound. And not everyone wants to keep it simple. Not everyone wants to build a personal brand. You've got to be okay with the fact that it's going to be much better for your brand to have 100 raving fans who absolutely love what you do, who you can help, who align with you, who are willing to, take advice, they're willing to grab hold of your hand and do what you're doing and get the job done and have fun in the business. I'd rather have 100 raving fans than 1,000 people who buy my product or buy your product and your service who do not vibe with you and are not a good fit for your offer at all. The next lesson I want to talk to you about is embracing the fuck-ups, right? Don't worry about today's fuck-ups. Leave them there, because you've always got today's fuck-ups to worry about. So what it means is embrace the fuck-ups. It's so easy to stand in your own way and stop yourself from experiencing great things. Failing forward is completely different to throwing in the towel and giving up completely, right? To realise very quickly that everything is a test. So the only way that you can get better with your process is to put things in motion so that you can test, enhance, optimise things based on what is working and what isn't. So embrace them screw-ups, okay? If you create a piece of content and it flops, create another piece of content. If you're having a conversation with someone in the DMs and, it feels very one-sided and it isn't moving forward, open another conversation with someone. If you make an offer to someone that you can 100% help and they ghost you, give the offer to some other person who's ready to take action. Your results, they're a domino effect of the action over a period of time. And not every day is going to go to plan. And that's okay. You will screw up along the way. Don't carry these fuck-ups forward. Don't let them rent free in your head. So just fuck up faster and keep evolving. The same people you started with will not be the ones that you finish with. When you're here for the long game, you will experience how things rapidly change. If I had $1 for everyone that I've seen come and I've seen go, I would be raking in another 6 figures in recurring income. Some people, they completely give up and disappear. And it's usually people that say, I just want to make money online. That's it. They will disappear. Some go on and do something completely different. Some continue to evolve in the process and the business model. And as you grow and you evolve and you find your place online, there will be many people that don't finish the journey with you. So be here for the long game. Be here for the long-term gratification. And bloody enjoy it. Have fun with it. Enjoy your journey. If you're thinking short term, it won't do you any favours, I promise you. Next lesson, which is highly leveraged content. It removes all the pressure from your sales process. So if you want to eliminate the pressure from your sales process altogether and remove time-consuming and stressful aspects of your business. So these, personally for me, these would be sale calls or strategy calls, whatever you want to call them. They'd be cold DMs, they'd be mass adding people, they'd be convincing and arm wrestling your leads to sell your offers and your services. Then start to stack and leverage good content creation on the front end of your business. This gives all your leads the opportunity to get to know who you are and build trust. It gives you the opportunity for you to build trust with your audience. So diving into things like who you are, what you know, how you can help them, what you value, your insights, your process, your plan, your vision, who you help, who you don't help, and who you can help, what you offer, what problems you solve. How has it helped you and your clients, people in your community? Why it has helped you and your clients. So obviously that's not to put all in one piece of content, but it gives you content ideas just there that's going to build the trust with your audience and let them know what you're all about. The things that's in your business, if it aligns with them, if it's what they want to do, it's going to help you to attract and build that trust from the right people, okay? So the whole purpose of our content is to pre-sell people onto you and how you serve people. And the more dialed in your core message is in your content, the more you naturally allow your audience to sell themselves on you and what you offer. And this happens long before a business transaction ever takes place. Okay, meaning once that you have the conversation in the DMs, they already 100% know that they want to work closer with you. And then it's just a short, meaningful conversations to move forward with the next steps, which is, to work with you. It is equally as important. It's so important to take a day off. It's so important to have a lag day. Who here started their business to get another job? Let me know in the comments. Who started their online business to get another job? Definitely not me. And I would bet that you are going to say the exact same. You started your business to design it around you and not the other way around, right? So for me, it was time flexibility to do more things that I love with the people that matter the most. So if you ain't taking days off, then what are you doing? If you decide to take a day off in your business, I promise you it won't break. Now, obviously, if you get into a rut and you take a day off, and you take a day off, and you take a day off, and then you show up and you might work for an hour, and then you take a day off. Obviously, yeah, it will break. But if you decide to take a day off in your business, it will not break. If you decide to take the weekend off in your business, it will not break. I promise you. In fact, if you don't, you might. Okay? So if you don't take a day off or have a lag day, so a lag day is where you just do a couple of meaningful things that are going to move the needle forward, but it's not like a proper day. Have a day off. It gives you that time to reflect and plan. And you would be surprised how it increases your productivity and your creativity to zone out and be present. Just being in the present moment, you know, like for example, me at the weekend, I was 2.5 days in the garden because we'd had nothing. We've had rain for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like, it's droughty, it's horrible to work in, horrible to go outside in. And me decides I'm going to landscape the garden all by myself because, well, why not? I'm at home, right? And it'll be fun. So I started trying to landscape the garden, which is harder than I thought. And we've had so much rain. I've literally been like, oh, I think it stopped raining for 30 minutes. Run outside, do a bit of digging, run back in. And obviously, because I'm digging, I'm not really wearing a jumper or a coat. So it's cold, but I'm sweating. And it was just awful to work in. So when I got those 2.5 days, I was like, right, that is it. There was nothing that I had to turn up for in my business apart from Unleashed celebratory party on Sunday evening. Apart from that, I was focused in my garden. And you know what? It gave me so many content ideas. It gives me time to reflect and things that I want to do moving forward. I'm taking it all in, just being in my own place. So definitely design your business to work for you, doing more of the things that you love, and you can absolutely do that. Like I was saying, there's so many strategies out there that work. The only difference is the time and energy that you put into it. So, if there's one bit of your strategy that isn't working, or you don't enjoy, or it's too time consuming to fit around your priorities, change it. It's honestly, it's so easy to change and adapt and make your business fit around you and your life and not the other way around. Earlier this year, I dropped a breakdown, which are my exact steps of my anti-hustle plan that I followed to my first 6-figure online. So if you want to grab that, drop a #6 in the comments, and I will hook you up with that as well. So it sort of like goes hand in hand with this, really. So I thought I'd mention that. And I'm also reopening up soon the doors for Reborn, the Collective Circle, which is a high-ticket course with an affordable and flexible month option. Okay, so I wanted to make it accessible and flexible for everybody. So if you already have a high ticket offer and you've been struggling to make conversions in your business, or you're creating and posting content for weeks on end, but you're unable to, generate quality leads, I hate the word leads, customers, or consistent cash flow, and you want to simplify your business and dial in your core message and start making consistent 1 to 3K months plus, then drop me a Reborn or drop me a DM and we can grab a chat. We can see if it's a good fit for you, and secure your seat before I open the doors to the public. Okay, so if that sounds something that you would be interested in and that speaks to you, drop me a Reborn or jump into my inbox and we can have a no pressure chat and just make sure it's a good fit for you. Okay, so have we got any questions? Because I am going to have to jump off very soon because I'm on a call with my Reborn family. So any questions, drop them in the comments, or if you think of any after, drop them in the comments. And when I've got off the call with the Reborn family, I will come back and I'll be sure to answer them.